Good day. This is my presentation for mobile application and image classification in my IT Twin Take course for this semester. So let's start by clicking our application, which is named Ilyasu Football Club. So let's start by clicking it, and we can see our homepage named Football Scanner Matchday Analysis Tool, and we can see the ready to scan, the start scanning, scan history, and our featured clubs. In our club, we can see the details of our clubs here. For example, the Real Madrid. We can see the founded year, stadium, playing style, and key roster for this year 2095. And we can also browse the other clubs. For example, the Manchester City, the Liverpool Football Club, the LA Galaxy, which is located in USA, and also the Arsenal, which is an England Premier League club. So let's start scanning. If you want to scan a club badge or a club name, let's click the start scanning to our camera. So let's find a photo which is suitable for this. For example, this LA Galaxy, let's see if it can recognize as one of our club. So let's just see. So our LA Galaxy is recognized in 99.97%, and also you can view the details here. So it is one of our clubs and it recognized very well. So this is the other club not identified. So let's try something else. How about the LFC? So it is 99.9% recognized as one of our club, or 100%. View the details here. Close. So let's try another one. So this is Liverpool Football Club. See if it can get recognized. So it is recognized in 99.9%. So almost 100%. View the details here. So how about let's try a random logo. For example, a basketball logo. Let's try it. So I believe I have one. So how about a Philadelphia 76er logo in NBA? Let's see if it can be recognized. So as you can see, it is not recognized as one of our classes. It is named not identified. So how about another one? How about see if can. So it is not identified. So because it is not one of our featured clubs in our classes. So let's try another one. How about a Laker logo? How about this logo? Let's see if it can be recognized as one of our clubs. So it is not identified. It have 25.1%, not low. It's so low, so it's identified as one of our clubs. It is not one of our classes. So also in this, we have another features here, which is our dashboard. You can see the scan trends. So we mostly use our application scanning a random things, which is, you can see the not identified go up because they didn't recognize, and we mostly use it for some random things for testing. And this is our recent scan, as you can see here. And you can also view the date, and also in our homepage we can view the history. This is our history, as you can see, and also you can click this and see the details and date and confidence score. So that's all for my scanning features and my application. So let's get to the questions. Let's start by answering the question number 15. So what part of the project did you find most technically challenging, and how did you overcome it? So the part I found most challenging was getting the AI model to work smoothly with the live camera feed without losing accuracy. Especially the laptop I use is an i5 that have 4 gig RAM. So I have a very difficulty having the accuracy because of the lag and not well smoothly my laptop. So phone cameras capture large detailed images with different dimension, but the machine learning model needs a small square images to make reliable prediction. Feeding the wrong size or format would be either give poor result or crash the app. So to solve this, I built a dedicated image preparation system before any photo is sent to the model. It goes through a few cleanup steps. So first, it cropped to a square from the center so the main subject stays in focus and distracting background are removed. And then it resized exactly to the size the model expects. Finally, the colors are adjusted to a range the model was trained on. So I also added a confidence check if the model is in at least 85% sure about the prediction. The result is filtered out so we see it in our introduction to our application. You can see that it filtered to unidentified. So let's move to question number 12, which is how would your system handle an increase in the number of images, classes, or users in the future? So to make sure the app can grow, I designed it to be flexible and cloud ready from the start. For adding new images classes like more football clubs, the app doesn't rely on hard-coded labels. Instead, it pulls them from a simple text file when it starts up. That means to add new categories. So I just need to retrain the AI model with the new images and update that file. So no complicated updates or messy if-else logic required. This let us expand easily from dozens to hundreds of classes without rebuilding everything. So for scaling up user, I use a Firebase Firestore as the backend. It's Google Cloud database about to scale automatically. That means it can handle more users from hundreds to millions without me having to manage servers or worry about slowdowns. As the app grows, things like scan history and user dashboard will stay fast and reliable on their own. So that's how I overcome the increased number of classes and user in my application. So let's proceed in question number 13. What coding or architectural practices did you apply to keep your Flutter project clean and maintainable? So I mostly focus on keeping the project organized and easy to work with by following a few key practices. First, I made sure responsibilities were clearly separated. All the machine learning images processing logic was moved into its own dedicated service class called TF Lite Helper. So this keeps UI code clean and focused on building the interface without getting tangled in the complex AI operation. Next, I broke the interface down into reusable components. For example, the card that displays the football clubs and the detail sheet are each their own independent widgets. This means I could design and update these pieces in isolation without touching the rest of the app, cutting down on repetition and making the layout easier to maintain. Finally, for keeping data in sync, I use reactive programming with stream on screen like history and dashboard. The UI listens this directly to the database whenever new data comes. So in the interface, it updates automatically. No manual refresher or complicated update logic needed. Just keep the code simple and ensure user always see the latest information. This choices help keep the code base modular, easier to test, and much simpler to extend over time. So that's all for the question, sir, and that is for my presentation for this video. And thank you for all the knowledge and all of the time you make for us, and God bless. Thank you.